We are on part 2 of lead generating legends. Let's go. We got to figure out how to get in front of as many people as possible. So today we're going to go through another 5 lead generating activities that you could do to get in front of more faces. And we're going to jump right in and go right to number 1, that is social media and Google ads, right? Now, people always say don't pay for ads. They don't work, blah blah blah, but you have to be very strategic with it, and a lot of these social media platforms actually restrict how you could do it because we're in housing. At the end of the day, we are in housing. We got to be careful and we got to follow the rules. But you can either boost a post on social media, maybe your Instagram, Facebook, and try to get it in front of as many eyes as possible. You could also use Google Ads. Now, Google Ads or Google Analytics, they're very specific, and you could actually target a certain type of demographic, people who are looking for a house specifically, right? Isn't that important? Or somebody who's thinking about selling. Don't ask me how Google does this, but Google knows everything anyways, right? Google Ads is actually, it's kind of complex. So you really got to do your homework and how to do this. But I've seen a lot of agents out there properly utilizing ad marketing and paying for ads and pushing their content out to the right people and making quite a bit of money. It's a learning curve, but it is something that generally works, and you could get in front of large audiences and for not that much money if you know what you're doing, right? You could always go on Fiverr, fiverr.com, which I've mentioned in past videos. You could get someone to kind of handle it for you and kind of set it all up and do it properly. But I do think that if you utilize advertising properly, it could get you in front of quite a few people, and it's very targeted. So you could find people in a certain zip code that are looking to sell or buy, and that would just be the perfect type of people that you want to talk to, right? All right, next thing is content marketing. We do social media all the time, and we utilize all those other forms of marketing. But one of the forms of marketing that we've kind of gone and went ahead of was like blog posting and stuff like that. Creating articles and posting articles online, maybe on your website or a blog, or going to other people's blogs and writing on their blogs to kind of utilize and leverage their following, right? So content marketing can be very beneficial if you find let's say you don't have your own blog and you find other people who have an established, blog where they have quite a few people who look into their product, and you could kind of leverage that way to talk about the different aspects of real estate that would be beneficial to a buyer or seller in today's market, right? We're clearly going through a shifting market right now, and we have, if you're being taught correctly by your brokerage, you have knowledge that is very valuable today for these buyers and these sellers. So utilize the knowledge that you have gained throughout your career and through the correct training that you should be receiving on this new, buyer agency platform and the new way of doing real estate. So utilize that, find others that you could leverage their websites to write on so that you could come off as, the real estate expert, period. Next one is email newsletters, right? Again, we're talking about older ways of doing business, but this still works. I know that I've kind of trashed email marketing in the past, but I also, also big up email marketing in the past too. So it's not the most efficient, because if you get like a 30 to 40% open rate, that's like phenomenal, which is why I kind of trashed it a little bit. But I also think that depending on your sphere or your email base, that could still be incredibly beneficial, right? If you had, for example, let's use small numbers here. Let's say 100 people in your email and 30 people looked at them, and if they consistently look at those emails, those are people who have you top of mind, right? And email newsletters can be another way to use content marketing. In your emails, it doesn't only have to be about, a certain topic, right? Clearly a lot of you might see my emails and they come out about this podcast. You could use that as a forum to get your content marketing, your blogs out there. Email marketing is incredibly important because you could do it monthly. It'll continue to hit people's inbox. It is, you got to be consistent with it. And it is a way for you to grow an audience that will continuously come back and look at you. It's incredibly important. I'm telling you, I've used it, and I remember, I have a larger email list at this point because I've been doing this for years. And every time that I sent out one of those emails, I had a number of people reaching back out to me that were people that I didn't necessarily know were looking to buy or sell at the moment. So that's another form. And again, remember, guys, we have to be hitting our target market from every angle. I'm telling you, you got to be doing the cold calls. You got to be doing the events that I told you about last week. You got to be, utilizing ads if you can. You got to be putting yourself on blog posts. You have to be, doing the email marketing. You have to hit them from every angle. And that is the best way for you to stay top of mind, become the area expert for real estate, and be the agent that people go to. That was the third one for today. Now, networking events. Now, I don't mean industry forum events. I'm talking about networking events that are local, and they can be real estate networking events, but they could also not be, right? I've gone to so many little small business networking events, or local networking events, or there are events that are out there that are like, oh, make a new friend, right? Go out there. And again, like I mentioned last week, right, about the industry forum and the events, this is going to be more just directly going to networking events where you're meeting people that are just living in your area. A lot of these people move into your area. They have no friends. They don't, they're just looking to meet people. Or it could be a small business networking event where you could utilize and kind of synergize with other businesses. I remember that I've gone to some networking events where I've met other accountants who have quite a few people in their database. If you could kind of leverage their database, that could be phenomenal for you. I've met asset managers, again, people that have quite a few people that come to them to manage their money. Hello, what's a good investment, guys? Tell me, it's real estate. So if you go and utilize this and go to these networking events, the more people you meet, the better chances you have of meeting someone where you can synergize on businesses, or maybe they're just looking to buy or sell. So keep that in mind. After networking events today, the last one for today, professional networking groups and organizations. So this is stuff like BNI, right? I'm not sure if you've heard of BNI, but that's probably like the biggest one out there. These are networking events for professionals. They're not not networking events. They're networking groups for professionals. So here's how that would work, right? You join BNI, for example. You meet every week, and what you do is that every meeting you have one person kind of discussing what their business is, and then you guys refer businesses to each other. So like I said in the last one, if you met a asset manager, an accountant, that would be phenomenal, right? So in something like this, you have the same attorney. They could have a real estate attorney, and they could have like a different type of attorney. They could have a photographer. They could have an insurance guy. They could have any person within the professional services world. And then what people start doing is that they leverage these networking organizations and start referring business exclusively to each other. I know people that have joined one of these groups, and that is their primary form of marketing. That is their primary form of getting new leads, and they've done very, very well with it. So they usually meet about once a week, either in person or online, and then from there they are able to get quite a bit of business because they're actually consistently in front of the same people, and these people generally have a lot of clientele within their own network. Because I remember going to one of these events, and not events, one of these groups, and one of their meetings as a fill-in for my friend, and it was actually very valuable because you learn a lot about other industries, and you also create friendships with people who could really actually send you business. So that is the 5 new ideas for you guys to look. It may not be new, but it might be new to you, or it might be something that you forgot about doing. The whole point about the Lead Generating Legends series that I have here is that it'll like rack your brain up, make you think of different things that you could do. I want you to go and, for example, look up networking events in your area within your target market region, right? I'm sure, when was the last time that you guys went online, was like networking events in Jersey City, networking events in, I don't know, like Austin, Texas, right? And actually went and signed up with them. You could go to sites like Eventbrite and stuff like that. But I want you to think of these things and actually kind of act upon them, right? So when you listen to these episodes, I want you to take one of these at the minimum research it and kind of act upon it right away. I don't want you guys to wait. Just do it, right? And that's the thing. When you have so many things going on, if you just put this on the list, it'll stay on the list and never get done. So I want you to listen to this episode. I want you to pick one of the things that I discussed and act upon it right after or while you're listening to this episode so that you can actually do it. So I want you to go on there and find a networking event and click attend and register for it. Or I want you to think of a blog post that you could write and then start looking for bloggers within your area that you could kind of leverage to post on their website. I want you to start looking at Google Media ads and Google Analytic ads and all that. I want you to start researching that. So act upon this, because otherwise it's really a waste of your time. I want you to actually do something. So guys, just remember, don't be a basic biscuit. Thank you.